Scott, are the Boy Scouts, how are they going to come in on this? Are they going to be part of, we're going to see Boy Scouts marching in the streets? Are they going to come at it a different way?
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. Well, first let me tell you what we're doing. There are a group of about 10 of us, all Eagle Scouts, in various walks of life that I've pulled together over the past year to look at this opportunity with Scouts. The chairman of the World Scout Organization lives in the Bay Area, and I was introduced to him recently after my son had converted me to a zealot. And he told me something that just blew my mind. And you know, I knew there were a few million Scouts in the U.S., and I really had no idea what the world picture was. But he told me there are 100 million Scouts in the world today active in Scouting. And that's like...
And that's active, not just I was a Scout when I was a kid.
No. These are active, you know, young people, boys and girls, in Scouting all over the world. There are 70 million in China. Okay. There are 25 million. Yeah. There are 25 million outside of China and the U.S. There's about 5 million, you know, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts in the U.S. And so, you know, that number just is amazing to me. So that must, I mean, it has to be the biggest youth organization on the planet. I mean, of course it is, and by, you know, a couple of orders of magnitude maybe. So I got to thinking, you know, I was in Scouts when I was a kid, and I loved it, and I'm still connected to it. I was a Scoutmaster for 6 years. I just got to thinking, you know, here is a massive resource that's 100 years old. It stood the test of time. One of its founding platform elements is conservation. They're all about the outdoors. And I said, but they're not doing anything about sustainability. That's crazy. So I decided that, just like you were on the bridge, I decided at 2 in the morning when I woke up with this idea in my head, I have no idea where it came from, you know, who knows, that I had to do this. So I've been working on it for a year, and so what I'm hoping that Scouting will do is take the existing structures of rank advancement and you know, projects and hands-on learning and leadership, and embrace the problems that we know about related to climate change, related to population growth, related to energy independence, all those problems about food and water and e-waste and waste and forests and oceans and food supplies, and all those problems, and learn about the problems, learn about the impact of the problems, and learn about the solutions. So that, and they may march in the streets, I don't know, but I want to get them educated, and I want to get their hands dirty, you know, doing projects that teach them about the problem or teach them about the solution, so that 2 things can happen. One, that they do what my son did for me, which is wake up their parents. So, you know, in a perfect world, if 100 million Scouts woke up 200 million parents and 200 million siblings, you'd have 500 million people that knew what to do. And they could walk in the streets, but they'd know what to do as well. And that's the first thing I'm hoping for. The second thing I'm hoping for is that when they get in the workplace, you know, in 5 or 10 years, that they will be well-educated and global, sustainable citizens, and they will force their businesses and their places of work, whatever that is, to conform to what has to be done. So, I mean, it just occurred to me that we're not going to get it done in our generations, even your generation probably. So we better get the next generation and the one behind that ready, otherwise we're really toast.
And some Eagle Scouts currently are in very influential positions of power in this country. Are they part of the activation that you hope for? I mean, in the quarters of power?
Well, I mean, I've talked to Senator Richard Lugar, who is a distinguished Eagle Scout, about this. We met in Washington for an hour in December, and he loves this. He's, you know, if you look at what he's standing for, energy independence, he acknowledges climate change as an issue, and he's very concerned about population growth. So all 3 pieces of you know, planet, profit, and people are in his mind. And there are 20 other Eagle Scouts in Congress, and he wrote a letter that we worked on together, and he sent it to them, letting them know of what we were doing. So they're not doing anything yet, but they're on notice. And so what we've essentially done is, through some very senior people at AT&T that are involved in scouting, I got our proposal submitted to the National Scout Organization, and it's now being considered in the 5-year planning process for scouting, which is looking back at the last 100 years and looking forward to the next 100 years to figure out what needs to be done to change the program to make it, extremely relevant for today's issues, and to make it compelling and interesting to lots more young people and lots more parents, and to give it a charter and a mission that is critical. Scouting had very important roles in World War I and World War II, related to recycling and raising money for various needs that the government had. And the government called on scouting many times in the World War I and World War II area, and hasn't done so since. So I don't think government's going to call on scouting now. They should. There's 100 million people ready to go do something.